Good morning, students. So today I shall continue with the topic which is errors and exceptions in Java. Now consider the list of exception classes as shown in this table. Each of these exception classes are bundled in a standard package known as java.lang.star. And in addition to that, each of these exception classes, that is arithmetic exception, array index out of bounds exception, the array store exception, and the negative array size exception, comes under a base class which is known as the exception class. Now you remember in my earlier presentations I have already discussed about the arithmetic exception and the array index out of bounds exception. So the topic for today's discussion will be the array store exception. Now these types of exceptions, that is array store exceptions, occurs when we assign value into an array that is of an incompatible type. Now consider the Java program as shown in this slide. This program will demonstrate the handling of the array store exception. The program begins by declaring a class specified by the name driver, and inside the body of this class called driver, a main method has been declared. Now since main method is the starting point of execution of a Java program, that's why the starting point of execution of this Java program will begin from the class called driver, which contains the main method. Now come inside the body of this main method. There are two blocks. The first block is the try block and the second block is the catch block. Now every statement inside the try block shall be processed by the compiler, and while the compiler processes each of these statements inside the try block, it will check for errors or exceptions. In case the compiler encounters any error or exception while processing any statement inside the try block, then that error shall be handled in the catch block. Okay, that exception or that error shall be handled in the catch block. Now come inside the body of this try block. The first statement declares an array object A of data type double and the size defined is 2. That means this array object can accommodate a maximum of 2 values that can be of type double. So this array object, now since it is declared of type double, it can hold only decimal values. It cannot hold integer value or character values. Now just after the declaration of this array object A of type double and the defined size as 2, come to the next statement. The next statement assigns an integer value 4 at the index 0 of the array object A. Now since the value assigned is not a decimal value as it is an integer value, so this statement will throw an array store exception, and this error shall be caught in the catch block. Now let me highlight this catch block along with the body. So this is the one. So once the integer value 4 has been assigned to the array object at the index 0, an exception has occurred in this statement, and that has been detected by the compiler. So the control will now shift from this part of the try block into the catch block, and the catch block contains an object E of type array store exception. That is, this object E belongs to the class array store exception. Then come inside the body of this catch block. It prints the statement array store exception found along with the object which is E using the statement system.out.println. So once a value which does not contain any decimal part has been assigned into the array object at the index 0, this throws an array store exception, and that exception has been handled in the catch block. and inside the body of this catch block, using the statement system.out.println, it prints the text array store exception found along with the object E. Now remember, this object E belongs to the class array store exception. So in this way, this program demonstrates the handling of the array store exception. And with this, I end my presentation here today.